Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm back. I'm streaming, and I want to talk about. You see the title, the respect factor. This is the respect factor, part two. I did one on my other channel, Vanguardian News. Check that out. Um, I did that a while ago. But anyway, you can see it. It's loaded up. Anyway, I just want to say the respect factor, as far as individuals, particularly the black community, and just hip hop in general, the culture, and through the world. It's just not isolated to us. What happened to the respect? Where's the respect? There's no respect anymore. You got people just talking how they want to talk in front of elders and older people, just having conversations that can be considered kind of, you know, lewd, profanity. Uh, can anyone talk without actually using a bunch of MFs and F this, F that? Is that possible? So where's the respect? The respect is gone. And normally that starts in the home, but I get it. People come home, they talk, they vent. Kids pick up different dialects, different terminology, different words, not knowing the true meaning of them because they hear mommy or daddy use them or auntie and uncle use them. So, and there, right there in itself is a lack of respect. You have no respect for your kid, knowing how impressionable they are when they're young and they pick up on words. That's learned behavior. They go out and they use these same words towards their friends and other individuals that's out in the street because they feel that, you're not my parents. You don't tell me what to do. That's always another issue. And nowadays people are not going to say anything to your kids, at least ones who have some type of respect. We're not just going to chastise your kids in public, and because that's not their duty. And a lot of people are timid in doing that because they don't want any type of conflict. You know, a lot of people be put off about how you talking to my child. Even if you're trying to correct the child in some kind of way, parents 9 times out of 10, a lot of parents. I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10, but majority of the parents will probably take that uh, as a son. You don't talk to my kids. I do that. That's not your job. So even in schools, you know, teachers, you have young teachers just cutting their teeth into, the learning institutions and trying to get a job. They might feel a little timid in approaching these kids and the way these kids talk to them. They might feel that, I gotta, I'm a single mother. Or I'm a, just a person trying to establish, my career. I don't want to put it all on the line just correcting one particular child. I need to get more of an assessment of my class and each individual student. And so we have to be patient on both sides when it comes to us being parents and us kids to school and letting the teachers do their job in you know teaching them. But at the same time, we know our kids. We know that they could be a handful. We know they can push you to the brink. Some of our kids, if you have more than one kid, and they're all different. Each child is different, and sometimes one particular child know how to push the buttons, and they know how to just give you that one little dagger that you just will flip and you'll just MF this, MF that, bring your butt here, this, that, and the other. So there's always a respect factor. And so we have to be mindful of that when we're teaching our kids, um, you know, how our behavior, how we have to check our behavior when we interact with our kids. And remember, they're young kids because they're going to grow up. Before you know it, they're adolescents. And that learned behavior that they learn from you, uh, it's going to be common language in the neighborhood where they live or where you live. So nowadays, people take disrespect a certain kind of way. People have access to all types of weapons. Uh, People just personalities are somewhat they kind of curt when it comes to just talking and just having a conversation. A lot of people have bad depositions. It's something always bothering them, and it don't take much to trigger something that you can be the brunt of that outburst. You can be the subject of it, and you look at yourself like, where did this come from, man? I was just talking. Wasn't really trying to offend you, but it could be anything, man. Because people are somewhat fed up. They have a lot of stress. They dealing with things. You never know what people are dealing with. So respect is always good to lead with, to have that respect. Respect for yourself, respect for each individual that you might meet out here in the street, respect for your coworkers, and just respect in general. It can take you a long way. You can go a long way with it. And you don't have to be phony. You don't have to be coming off like, you have all the answers and stuff like that, but it's just simple respect. Nowadays it don't take much. People don't, look at the violence that's out in the street. The young people. Look at the music that the lyrics that are used. So people are dissing um, loved ones and dissing their ops, so to speak. I hate that word ops, but since it's a trendy word today, the ops, they're enemies. They go out and let's say their enemy meet their demise some kind of way. They're talking about smoking on that particular enemy, blazing that enemy up, putting it in the air. We're smoking on this today. We're smoking on that one tomorrow. And so no one has any respect for the dead. People don't even have respect for, um, Sundays and Father's Days, these days that we hold sacred. You know, I read an article well, I saw something online where a man uh, was nearly killed holding I wouldn't say an infant, but a little baby in his hand. And I think the only reason why the guy didn't kill him because the gun jam. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? I believe it's in Detroit. But if you heard about that, I would suggest you go, read the article or look it up online. You probably can find it. But I was like, man, if he had a baby in his hand and had a gun in his face and the gun jammed. So and the guy, I guess, boogied out of there because that was his opportunity. And I guess he said, well, let me jet. But be mindful, people. Be mindful out here. It's a jungle. And it has been for quite a while. I know it came up in the 80s. It was, if not, it was one of the most, as far as violence, because you had the crack epidemic and you had a whole host of different other things going on. So, We're here again. So respect is always something that we should have. We should always be mindful. We should always be respectful. If someone is just to themselves, and that doesn't mean that they're weak. You understand what I'm saying? Remember the subway shooter? But this guy, he was going out looking for trouble. But I'm just saying, but you can encounter people like that. You never know. And with the abundance of guns that are available to anybody, to criminals especially, this is how they resolve, conflict and gunfire. Someone has to be laid down, and and then we have another funeral, and there's two lives lost: the individual who lost his life through the violence, and the person who pulled the trigger or caused that individual to lose their life. So there's two families affected and loved ones. So we have to be able to walk through and be civilized with each other. We have to be able to move about and just don't go crazy because it's summertime and it's hot outside. Now it's time to go wild, get wild. And, a lot of people are still trying to go to work at night. They're trying to go to sleep. You got people maybe in apartment complexes that's up all night outside in the parking lot, having fun. But it's like late at night. You got an individual got to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That person yell outside, "Man, go to sleep." This, that, the other. Man, I'm trying to go to sleep. You don't know where that can jump off at. It can go now. It can squash. People can say, "Man, mind your business," blah blah blah, and then it can amplify. It can intensify. So still, it comes down to respect. So it's small things, but it seems like the small things that we kind of like. Well, why did that happen over that? Seems like that's the norm now. People are dying over small things. You know, off of glare, off of glare. So, why are you looking at me like that? And you're just maybe just daydreaming. You're not really focusing on someone, but it can lead. That can be the beginning of something, or it can be the beginning of nothing, depending on the individuals involved. Respect, respect, and everyone should be big on that. Everyone should have that as a rule when it comes to dealing with other individuals out here in this thing called life. That a lot of people are going through different things. A lot of people are just trying to accomplish their mission in life and get their job completed. A lot of people just trying to buy some food. It might be a line and they're a little frustrated, but you still have to be respectful. You still have to be respectful in your lines. Maybe the cashier is backed up, or she's a little stuck on a issue with the accounting or price, and we just have to be respectful. We have to show restraint. That is something that we need to practice. Restraint doesn't mean you're less of a man. Doesn't mean you're less of an individual. Doesn't mean you're weak. It's just restraint. Take a moment. Count to 10. Just take a moment. Process your life right now. Do I really want to jump out there and get tricked out my freedom right now? Is it worth it? Or I can just, get through this, pay for my stuff, go about my day, and come home and get to ponder it. That's the beauty in it. So easier said than done, believe me, because a lot of people are reactive. A lot of people have rage. They just lash out. They just, and that could be dangerous. It could be scary and dangerous at the same time. You might make a gesture to somebody driving down the street. He's beeping his horn or something. This happened to me today. Dude, it wasn't beeping at me. person blew the horn. The light just changed. It was blowing the horn to somebody else. I'm like, and that little moment right there could cost me my life because they might say, "Oh, you trying to embarrass me? What's your issue?" You know what I'm saying? And then one thing lead to another. Little incidents like that can cost you your life, just like that. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much at all. But it can cost you your life at a moment's notice. And so this is why I say you have to be mindful. You have to be in a good place too. You have to be in a good place, man. As an individual, I know it's hard. I know a lot of people, times are crazy right now because you have uh, gas prices that's out of this world. We're staring down the barrel of a recession. Um, there's a lot going on in politically, as far as the January the 6th, and just different things. People are trying to have fun. It's summertime, and people trying to get their, coordinate their summers, what they're going to do. You know, so there's a lot going on, but we have to be chill. We have to be chill. Think of the beach. Think of the waves on the beach hitting up against the shores. You have to have that chill mode built in. You have to develop it. You can't just be ready to jump out there because you never know. These young teenagers, they packing heat, man. They strapped. Some of these people are strapped up, and the gun is, they want to use it. They want to because why do they have it? Why else do they have the gun? Yeah, some say it's protection, but you know, you pull it. My rule: you pull it, you better use it. So can't just be like up here, stunting and flashing and brandishing guns, man. You pull it. If you take that gun out your house or out your facility or wherever it's supposed to be at, 9 times out of 10, probably a lot of us don't have a license to carry. So if you take that house out, I mean that gun out the house because you want to added protection of security. Do I really want to go out? One, and if I do go out, how am I gonna act? Because I know I got the burner on me. I mean, am I gonna be extra bold? Am I gonna be extra aggressive, knowing I got me some that fire on me? So it's a lot to ponder. It's a lot to digest, unpack. All the little trendy terms that you want to say. But if you take that gun out, you better be able to handle the whole weight and the ramifications that comes with that. You understand what I'm saying? So be mindful. Be mindful. But respect goes a long way. It's good for you. It's good for me. It's good for everybody just to be respectful. Doesn't cost you anything, you know? Doesn't cost you anything. Like I said, you don't have to, you know, be phony about it. You just got to show respect. I say thank you when I get a service or I go to the store and I say thank you, even though I'm paying for it. I say thank you, even though it should be other way around, right? They should be saying thank me, but I say thank you. Thank you for taking care of this. Thank you for helping me. And that's just how I am. Learn behavior. You know, so not gonna keep you, not gonna hold you. Just thought I'd come up here and say that, but you know, the whole culture, the hip hop culture, we as a community have to learn to be respectful towards each other. We have enough death and mayhem happening in the neighborhood. So let's try to do our part to make the neighborhood better, and change the narrative as well. That's it for me. Mid Game Network came at you live today. Probably be doing some more live, but take care, and we'll see you when we see you. Peace.